నమస్తే వెల్కమ్ టు MANATV స్పెషల్ ప్రోగ్రామ్ హిస్టరీ. ఈ రోజు మన లైవ్ షోలో భాగంగా డిస్కస్ చేసుకోబోయే అంశం కాకతీయ చరిత్ర. కాకతీయ కాలంలో ఆ రోజుల్లో ఆ సామ్రాజ్యం ఏ విధంగా స్థాపించబడింది, దాని ఆధారాల గురించి డిస్కస్ చేసుకుందాం. మరి వీటి గురించి డీటెయిల్స్ మీకు అందించడానికి మనతో ఉన్నారు జితేందర్ రెడ్డి గారు, సబ్జెక్ట్ ఎక్స్పర్ట్. నమస్తే అండి. సో జితేందర్ రెడ్డి గారు, ఈ రోజుల్లో అంటే మనం కాకతీయ సామ్రాజ్యం గురించి డిస్కస్ చేసుకుంటున్నాం ఇవాళ. ఆ కాలం రాజుల గురించి ఒకసారి చెప్పండి.
So the Kakatiyas, they are the great rulers in South India. They ruled from 1000 to 1323. So where in Telugu speaking areas, they ruled from two capitals. One is the Harmakonda and another one is the Orugallu. So in South India, they ruled from 1000 to 1323. So these Kakatiya rulers, they brought Telugu speaking areas with under one sovereign or one administration. So the Kakatiyas not only they ruled Telugu speaking areas but also in South Indian areas, that is the now present Chhattisgarh and some parts of Orissa and some parts of Karnataka and some parts of Tamil Nadu also. So the Kakatiyas, they started purely the Kakatiyas. They are the Telugu ruling people. The Kakatiyas after Shatavahanas, it was the Kakatiyas was the important rulers in Telugu speaking areas. So the Telangana and Telugu speaking areas are the other parts of the South India are developed in all sectors at the time of the Kakatiyas. There are number of sources are available to know the Kakatiyas history. So the Kakatiya, these sources are the two types. One is the inscriptions and another one is the literary sources. So these inscriptions are there is two types of the inscriptions. One is the stone or pillared inscriptions and another one is the copper plate inscriptions. So the stone inscriptions, different rulers of the Kakatiya rulers, they issued different stone inscriptions and copper plate inscriptions. This first inscription is the Prola-Raju. The Prola-Raju was one of the ruler of the early Kakatiyas. He issued the Pillalamari inscription. The Pillalamari inscription was important inscription to know the Kakatiyas history. And second inscription is the Ganapadeva inscription. So the Ganapadeva issued the Motupalli, he issued number of inscriptions, but the Motupalli inscription is very, very important inscription. The Motupalli inscription, this inscription issued by the Ganapadeva for the purpose of the foreign trade. He guaranteed the foreign people, so not arch the local officials. That's why he issued this Motupalli inscription. So this Motupalli inscription described about the foreign trade at the time of the Kakatiyas. And another one inscription is the Rechara Rudra, the commander-in-chief of the Ganapadeva, issued the Palampeta inscription. This Palampeta inscription described about the development of the Kakatiyas. The Kakatiya important period of the Ganapadevas. Ganapadeva was the important ruler, he was the greatest ruler among the Kakatiyas. This Palampeta inscription, so he also built, Rechara Rudra also built the Ramappa, one of the temple, Ramappa temple in 1213, and he also constructed one of the tank, that is the Ramappa Lake. This much of information regarding the Ganapadeva period is described in this inscription. And another important fourth inscription is the Rudradeva's 1,000-pillared temple inscription. So this Rudradeva, he was the greatest ruler of the later Kakatiyas. He was the earlier greatest ruler. So this Rudradeva, what is the importance of 1,000-pillared temple inscription? Rudradeva in 1163 AD issued this 1,000-pillared temple inscription. So at the time of 1163, he declared his independence from the Chalukyas, Kalyani Chalukyas, at that occasion, issued the 1,000-pillared temple inscription. So that is the independence Kakatiya. So at the period of, so according to this inscription, the Kakatiya Empire, the Kakatiya Kingdom became an independence. So that is the one of the important inscription. And another important inscription is the Ganapadeva's another inscription. That is the Jamalapuram inscription. So this Jamalapuram inscription described about the military achievements of Ganapadeva. And another inscription is the Rudramadevi. Rudramadevi, she issued the Rudramadevi, one of the Kakatiya emperor. She issued Malkapura inscription. This Malkapura inscription described about the Kakatiyas, the social and economic conditions of the Kakatiyas at the time during the period of Rudramadevi. These are the stone pillar inscriptions, and second inscriptions are the copper plate inscriptions. The copper plate inscriptions, generally the copper plate inscriptions, they are issued, different rulers they issued at the time of their donations. So the rulers, they made donations to the temples and the tanks, and sometimes they also donated villages to the Brahmins, and sometimes they donated villages to the poets and other experts. So at the time of their donation, they issued the copper plate inscription. That is the importance of copper plate inscription. So in first copper plate inscription is the Danarnava. Danarnava issued the copper plate, one of the copper plate inscription, that is the Magallu inscription. So this actually this Danarnava, he was the ruler of the eastern Chalukyas of Vengi. So he issued the Magal inscription. This Magal inscription described about the early Kakatiyas. And the second copper plate inscription is the Ganapadeva's inscription. The Ganapadeva issued Karimnagar inscription. This Karimnagar inscription was important inscription for the time of the Ganapadeva period. And Rudramadevi's another inscription, that is the Alapadu inscription. This is the important copper plate inscription. This copper plate inscription mentioned about the Rudramadevi's period. What are the conditions at the time of the Rudramadevi period? And another important inscription is the Prataprudra issued another copper plate inscription, that is the Kandanavalli copper plate inscription. So the Kandanavalli copper plate inscription mentioned about the Prataparudra's period. And another fifth inscription is the Rudradeva's 1,000-pillar temple inscription. These inscriptions are two types. One is the stone inscription, another one is the copper plate inscription also. There at the 1,000-pillar inscription. This 1,000-pillar inscription described about the copper plate inscription, described about the so this Rudradeva's donations to the 1,000-pillar temple. So what is so he built 1,000-pillar temple at Almakonda in 1163 AD, and after he built the 1,000-pillar temple, he issued this 1,000-pillar temple copper plate inscription, because he made donation. He donated one village to the 1,000-pillar temple. That is the Madhila Cheru. Madhila Cheru was one of the village. So this Rudradeva, he donated this village to the maintenance of the 1,000-pillar temple. That is the importance of these inscriptions. These are the important inscriptions to know the Kakatiya history. And the second category of the sources are the different literary or literature, or the different books. So these books are the important books are the to know the Kakatiya history. First one is the Rudradeva. Rudradeva, he was the later great ruler in early Kakatiyas. So this Rudradeva, he was great poet. He wrote Niti Saramu. Niti Saramu. This book in both the languages, in the Sanskrit and Telugu languages. Niti Saramu was the written by the Rudradeva. This book mentioned about the literary development at the time of the Kakatiyas, in the early Kakatiyas period. And second book is the Jayapa Senani. The Jayapa was the elephant protector at the time of Ganapadeva. So he wrote Nritya Ratnavali. So the Nritya Ratnavali was the important book in those days This is the toughest book in India at the time of during that period. So he wrote to Nritya Ratnavali. Nritya Ratnavali, he wrote on dance. What are the styles of different dances in those days? That type of information mentioned in this book, Nritya Ratnavali. And another book is the third book is the another is the Srinada. Srinada was the greatest poet in those days. This Srinada, he wrote Palnati Veera Charitra. This Palnati Veera Charitra. Palnati Veera Charitra was the important book for the Palnadu area. There is a Palnadu, there is a there is a big kingdom at Palnadu. There is a rivalry in between Nalagamarazu and Malidevaraju. That much of information mentioned by the Srinada in Palnati Veera Charitra. And he also mentioned about the contemporary conditions of the Kakatiyas. And another fourth one is the Kasha Sarvappa. Kasha Sarvappa, he wrote Siddheswara Charitra. Siddheswara Charitra. The Kasha Sarvappa, he wrote about the religious conditions at the time of the Kakatiyas. In his book, that is the Siddheswara Charitra. That is one of the important book. So these are the important books for knowing the Kakatiya history. To reconstruct the history of the Kakatiyas. The Kakatiyas, first time, these are the important inscriptions and resources of the Kakatiyas to know the Kakatiya history. Actually, the Kakatiyas, about the first time mentioned the Kakatiyas are mentioned in one of the inscriptions, that is the Magalu inscription. This Magalu inscription issued by the Danarnava in 950 AD. This Danarnava was the eastern Chalukyas of Vengi ruler. So first time he mentioned about the Kakatiyas in his inscription, that is the Magalu inscription. In examination, so they are asking the examination. So one of the important questions, that is the who mentioned the Kakatiyas at first time. So this Danarnava, he mentioned in his inscription, that is the Magalu inscription. So another one is who was the founder of the Kakatiya dynasty. The Kakatiya kingdom was founded by the Beta I. Beta I was the founder of the Kakatiya dynasty. So this question also important. Who was the founder of the Kakatiya empire or Kakatiya kingdom? The Beta I was the founder of the Kakatiya kingdom. And after that, in early there is two types of the Kakatiyas. They are the early Kakatiyas and later Kakatiyas. In the early Kakatiyas, the Beta I was the founder of the Kakatiya dynasty, and after Beta I, his son Prola I became the ruler, and after Prola I, his son Beta II became the ruler of the Kakatiya kingdom, and after Beta II, his son Prola II became the ruler. These are the four rulers. They are the early Kakatiya rulers. So in later Kakatiya period, the Rudradeva was the first ruler. Rudradeva was the first ruler in later Kakatiya period. The later Kakatiyas are the great rulers. Rudradeva, he ruled from 1158 AD to 1196 AD. So this Rudradeva, the important achievements of Rudradeva mentioned in his inscription, that is the Hanamakonda inscription. Hanamakonda inscription, the important achievements, all the achievements of Rudradeva mentioned in his inscription, that is the Hanamakonda inscription. And he also issued another inscription. Rudradeva, he also issued another inscription, that is the Garapavara inscription. So according to the Hanamakonda inscription, he declared his independence. He declared his independence from the West Kalyani Chalukyas in 1163 AD. So this much of information mentioned in the Hanamakonda inscription. So he declared, he was the first independent ruler, first independent Kakatiya ruler. He declared his independence in 1163 from Kalyani Chalukyas. And on that occasion, he built 1,000-pillar temple at Hanamakonda in 1163 AD. This is the Trikuta temple. Trikuta means there are three gods, three deities in this temple. First one is the Shiva, and the second one is the sun god, and third one is the Keshava. These are the three gods in the thousand pillar temple at Hanamakonda. So the Hanamakonda inscription is very, very important inscription. Hanamakonda inscription issued by these Rudradeva, and Rudradeva, this Hanamakonda inscription wrote by the Jithender. Was the one of the important poet, his name is Jithender. He wrote Hanamakonda inscription. So this Hanamakonda inscription is the Sanskrit inscription. And Rudradeva was also known as Prataparudra I. He also known as Prataparudra I. And according to the Pillalamari Nayabred inscription in 1195, so the Rudradeva was himself, he was a poet. He adorned the poets, was like Kalpataru. Kalpataru means he was the great patron of poets. He was the great patron of poets. So this Nayab Reddy issued the inscription, that is the Pillalamari inscription in 1195. So this in this inscription he mentioned about the Rudradeva. Rudradeva was the great patron of poets. He was himself a great poet. He was patronized a number of poets. That's why he called Rudradeva in his inscription, that is the Kalpataru. Kalpataru means he was the great patron. And Draksharama inscription says that Rudradeva is a Vinaya Bhushana or Vidya Bhushana. So in these previous examinations, they are asked about them. So this Rudradeva was known as, he had the title Vinaya Bhushana. Vinaya Bhushana was the title of Rudradeva. So this title, this much of information mentioned in below the inscription, that is the Draksharama inscription. And he given the 4 inscriptions, that is Draksharama inscription. Draksharama inscription says that Rudradeva is Vinaya Bhushana. And Rudradeva also another title, that is the Vidya Bhushana. Vinaya Bhushana, Vidya Bhushana. And Rudradeva wrote a book, that is Niti Saram, in Sanskrit language. In Sanskrit and Telugu also. Rudradeva wrote. Who wrote Niti Saramu? Rudradeva wrote Niti Saramu. That is the answer. He got a title Vidya Bhushana. Who had the title of Vidya Bhushana or Vinaya Bhushana? So the answer is the Rudradeva. So the Rudradeva, it came to the that Rudradeva wrote Niti Saramu online with Baddena's Niti Shastra Muktavali. Some historians, they are this much of impression by some of the historians. So Rudradeva, minister Gangadhara was he wrote, Gangadhara was the Vaishnavite, but Rudradeva, he was the Shaivite. He followed the Shaivism. He was the Shaiva follower. But his minister, Gangadhara, he was the Vaishnavite. So this Gangadhara, so he was the Smartha Brahmin. Gangadhara built Prasanna Kesava temple. He built Prasanna Kesava temple and Gangachiya tank at Hanamakonda. So who built? So this Gangadhara built Prasanna Kesava temple and at Hanamakonda, and he also constructed one tank, that is the Gangachiya tank at Hanamakonda. So this so who built Prasanna Kesava temple? Who built Prasanna Kesava temple? Gangadhara, he built the Prasanna Kesava temple. And he constructed Gangachiya Cheru at Hanamakonda. And even built, so this Gangadhara, he also, even he was the Vaishnavite, but he built a Buddhist temple, Buddhist temple also at Hanamakonda. And Rudreswara temple was one of the temple built by the Rudreswara. So the this Prataparudra I or Rudradeva, he built a 1,000-pillar temple at Hanamakonda in 1163 AD. And which was the this is the Trikuta temple. I already told about this temple. Who built 1,000-pillar temple at Hanamakonda? So this answer is the Rudradeva. When he built, so this 1,000-pillar temple at Hanamakonda, that is the 1163 AD. And this is the Trikuta temple. And for the maintenance of this 1,000-pillar temple, Rudradeva he donated one village, that is the Madhyala Cheruvu village to the 1000 Pillar temple. He donated this temple. And on winning of Panagallu, at the time of his invasion on Panagallu, on the invasion of Panagallu, he captured Panagallu and he built a tank at Panagallu. That is the Rudra Samudra. Rudra Samudra was one of the important tank built by the Rudradeva. And during Rudradeva's period, there the rivalry started in between the Shaivas and Jains at Anamakonda. So, whose period this rivalry started in between Shaivas and Jains? That is the answer is the Rudradeva. Who constructed Rudra Samudra tank? That is the answer is the Rudradeva. So, Rudradevas, after that Rudradeva, Ganapadeva was one of the important rulers among the Kakatiyas. The Ganapadeva was the greatest emperor among the Kakatiyas. He ruled from 1199 to 1262. So, this is the longest period. So, he ruled in Kakatiyas. Which Kakatiya ruler ruled for longest period? That is, answer is the Ganapadeva. He ruled up to almost 62 years. 62 or 63 years he ruled. The Mantana inscription issued his first inscription. Ganapadeva's first inscription is the Mantana inscription. He issued first inscription is the Mantana inscription. This Mantana inscription issued in his period 1199 AD. And he described the regime of the capital, Ganapadeva. This Ganapadeva was the important ruler. So, Ganapadeva, he had the many titles. Ganapadeva is the popular king of the Kakatiyas. His kingdom, at the time of the Ganapadeva period, Ganapadeva regime, the Kakatiya kingdom extended up to the Kanchi in Tamil Nadu. He ruled for 63 years. So, who was the greatest ruler of the Kakatiyas? His name is Ganapadeva. So, which Kakatiya ruler's period? The empire extended up to Kanchi in Tamil Nadu. This is the question. Most of the time, many times they are asked this question. Which Kakatiya ruler period? The Kakatiya kingdom or Kakatiya empire extended up to the Kanchi in Tamil Nadu. Whose period? So, Ganapadeva's period. And so, he ruled for 63 years also. So, the Ganapadeva period, the important event is the issued the Motupalli inscription in 1244 AD. Issued Motupalli inscription in 1244 AD. In this Motupalli inscription, guaranteeing the foreign traders, not harsh the local officials. Guaranteeing the foreign traders, not harsh by the local officials. And he guaranteed to the, and he wrote the rules and regulations of foreign trade in Motupalli Abhaya Sastra, Motupalli Proclamation. He issued this Motupalli Proclamation or Motupalli inscription in 1244 AD. Who issued, this the question is the, who issued the Motupalli inscription? So, the Ganapadeva issued Motupalli inscription, that is the answer. And when the Ganapadeva issued Motupalli inscription in 1244 AD, why Ganapadeva issued the Motupalli inscription? So, they given the options, alternatives, that is the, for the foreign traders, he issued the Motupalli inscription or Motupalli proclamation or Motupalli Abhaya Sastra in Telugu. And this Motupalli was also called as Deshiyakonda town, Deshiyakonda Pattana, Deshiyakonda town. Deshiyakonda, what is the Deshiyakonda town? So that the Motupalli was known as Deshiyakonda town or Deshiyakonda Pattana. So to implement the Motupalli orders, so the Ganapadeva issued the Motupalli inscription for the foreign traders, guaranteeing the foreign traders for not harsh by the local officials. In this, to implement the rules and regulations of Motupalli, he appointed Siddhayadeva. Siddhayadeva he was the officer appointed by Ganapati Deva at the Montupalli port. Montupalli port. He maintained this, Siddhayadeva maintained the rules and regulations. So this is another important event at the time of the Ganapati Deva, that is, he shifted his capital from Haramakonda to Orugallu in 1254 AD. He shifted his capital from Haramakonda to Orugallu in 1254 AD. So actually this Orugallu fort, the construction of Orugallu fort was started by the Prola II. The Prola II started the construction of the Orugallu fort. So according to the Chintaluri copper plate inscription, the Prola II started the construction of the Orugallu fort. It's completed at time of the Ganapati Deva in 1254 AD. So and that's why after the completion of this Orugallu fort, Ganapati Deva he shifted his capital from Haramakonda to Orugallu in 1254 AD. This is the important, very, very important question. Who shifted his capital from which Kakatiya ruler? He shifted his capital from Haramakonda to Orugallu. That is the answer is the Ganapati Deva. And Ganapati Deva, when he shifted his capital from Haramakonda to Orugallu. So in 1254 AD. So this is actually the previous examinations, they are asked about the who started the construction of Orugallu fort. Who started the construction of Orugallu fort? So this Prola II was the answer. But because recently the historians they discovered Chintaluri copper plate inscription recently. These inscriptions mentioned about the Prola Raju, about this fort. Prola Raju was started this Orugallu fort. This much of information mentioned in the Chintaluri copper plate inscription. That is the one of the important. So this is the important. And the Ganapati Deva's he followed the Shaivism. His Shaiva Guru, his Shaiva teacher is the Vishweshwara Shambhu. Vishweshwara Shambhu was the, or Vishweshwara Shivudu or Vishweshwara Shambhu was the Shaiva teacher of the Ganapati Deva. So the Ganapati Deva, he took Shaiva Diksha from the Vishweshwara Shambhu. This Vishweshwara Shambhu established Golaki Matas. Actually in those days, in Shaivism there are number of sects are popular in those days. These important sects in Shaivism, they are the Kalamuka, Kapalika, Pasupata, Golaki, Aradya Shaiva, Veera Shaiva, etc. These are the important sects in those days are popular, very popular. So this Vishweshwara Shambhu, he belonged to the Pasupata Shaiva sect of Shaivism. So his father, Vishweshwara Shambhu's father name is Sadbhava Shambhu. He started Golaki Matas at Davala country, where the Davala country is the Dandakaranya forest. And after that, Vishweshwara Shambhu, he maintained the Golaki Matas. He also, Vishweshwara Shambhu was the Shaiva teacher of Ganapati Deva. So he established a number of Golaki Matas in different parts of the Telugu speaking areas. These Matas are, first Mata is established at Srisailam, and second one is Pushpagiri, and the third one is the Malkapuram, and fourth one is Draksharamam, and fifth one is the Kaleshwaram. These are the Golaki Matas established by the Vishweshwara Shivudu, was the teacher of Ganapati Deva. And Ganapati Deva donated Kandrakota village to Vishweshwara Shambhu. So after that, Ganapati Deva had no male issues. That's why his daughter Rudrama Devi became the ruler of the Kakatiya dynasty after Ganapati Deva. So the Rudrama Devi is, our period is 1260 to 1289 AD. So the Rudrama Devi, she was the important ruler of the Kakatiyas. Rudrama Devi came to the power in the name of Rudradeva Maharaja. So our titles, Rudrama Devi, they had one or two titles. Rudrama Devi, she had the titles of the Raya Gaja Kesari, Rudradeva Maharaja. Rudra Maharaja, Raya Gaja Kesari, these are the two titles of Rudramadevi. Rudramadevi is the first woman ruler in Telugu speaking areas. So this is one of the important question. Who was the first woman ruler in Telugu speaking, areas? So the Rudramadevi, she was the first woman ruler in Telugu speaking areas. So this at the time of Rudramadevi, one important incident took place, that is the Devagiri Yadava ruler. There is the Devagiri in Maharashtra. The Yadava ruler, the Yadavas, they ruled from Devagiri. The Devagiri Yadava ruler Mahadeva, he marched against Orugallu. On the walls of Orugallu, Rudramadevi, he led her forces and repulsed the Yadavas rulers Mahadeva invasion. On the walls of Orugallu, she defeated Mahadeva, the ruler of Devagiri, on the walls of Orugallu, and not only defeated, but also she changed up to the walls of Devagiri, and again she defeated Mahadeva at Devagiri, and that's why this Mahadeva, he concluded peace treaty with Rudramadevi, and he also paid a huge war indemnity to the Kakatiyas. These all the coins are discovered. The coins are discovered. The Yadavas coins are discovered in the different parts of the Telugu speaking areas. So these coins are discovered at Rajapatnam in Krishna district and some parts of Telangana area also. So this incident or Devagiri incident was mentioned in the Rudramadevi's inscription, that is Bidar inscription. Bidar inscription described about the Rudramadevi's achievement on the Rudramadevi achievement on Devagiri ruler Mahadeva. So this after that Rudramadevi, her coins are Devagiri Yadava coins are found in Telangana and Rajapatnam in Krishna district, and Rudramadevi Bidar inscription was the important inscription. So who issued the Bidar inscription? Rudramadevi issued the Bidar inscription. After the victory of the these Yadavas, Rudramadevi, she started using the title of Raya Gajakesari. Using the title of Raya Gajakesari. So she constructed a portico at Swayambhu temple and Fort Warangal and Fort Orugallu. And the Kayastha leader in her last days, she fought with the Kayastha leader Ambadeva. In this battle, unfortunately, she was died. This much of information was recorded in her inscription, that is the Chandupatla inscription. This Chandupatla inscription mentioned about the Rudramadevi's death. And after that, Rudramadevi's daughter's son name is Prataparudra was the last ruler of the Kakatiya dynasty. At the time of the Rudramadevi, another important incident at the time of the Rudramadevi, first time she introduced Nayankara system in army. Who introduced the Nayankara? First, which Kakatiya ruler introduced the Nayankara system? This is the question. Answer is the Rudramadevi is the answer. First time she issued the Nayankara system. And during the Rudramadevi's region, one of the Italian tourists, that is the Marco Polo. He belonged to the Venice city of Italy. This Marco Polo, he visited Rudramadevi's court, and Marco Polo mentioned about the socio-economic conditions of the Kakatiyas, and this Marco Polo, he also visited the Motupalli port. So examiner asked the question, what is the question? So the Marco Polo, the Venice traveler or Italian traveler, he visited Rudramadevi's court. Sorry, he visited which Kakatiya rulers? Which Kakatiya, Marco Polo visited the Kakatiya kingdom. Who was the, at the time of, at that time, who was the ruler of the Kakatiyas? That is the question. The answer is the Rudramadevi. The Marco Polo was the important Venice traveler. And another one is the, so this Marco Polo not only mentioned about the socio-economic conditions, but also he mentioned about the industries and foreign trade and the administration of the Kakatiyas. So this after Rudramadevi had, she had no male issues. So her grandson name is Prataparudra. Prataparudra was the grandson of the Rudramadevi. He became the ruler of the Kakatiya empire in 1289 to 1323. He ruled from 1289 to 1323. So the Prataparudra was the last ruler of the Kakatiyas. After Prataparudra, the Kakatiya kingdom came to an end. So this Prataparudra period is important period. Prataparudra built many new villages in Rayalaseema area. Many new villages in the Rayalaseema area. So who built many new villages in Rayalaseema area? The Prataparudra, he built many new villages in the Rayalaseema area. At the time of the Prataparudra, there is a Delhi Sultanate is there. The Delhi king Alauddin Khilji, he sent a number of expeditions against the South India. And the part of South India is Alauddin Khilji's, he was his commander-in-chief, his name is Malik Kafar. He marched against Orugallu and he defeated Prataparudra. After that, Prataparudra, he concluded with peace treaty with the Delhi Sultanate of Alauddin Khilji or Malik Kafar, and according to this treaty, he paid tribute to the Delhi Sultanate. After that, finally in 1323, the Muhammad bin Tughlaq or Juna Khan or Ulugh Khan, alias Muhammad bin Tughlaq, he marched against Orugallu in 1323. And he marched against Orugallu in 1323 and he defeated Prataparudra and he occupied Orugallu. And he captured Prataparudra and he take as a Prataparudra taken by the Juna Khan as a prisoner to Delhi. On the way of Delhi, Prataparudra, he committed suicide on the Narmada river. He died at the place of Somodbhava in Narmada river. This much of information recorded or mentioned by the one of the inscription, that is the Kalvacheru inscription. And Kalvacheru inscription, this Kalvacheru copper plate inscription issued by the Reddy Rani Anitalli. So this Reddy Rani Anitalli, she mentioned the death of the Prataparudra in her inscription, that is the Kalvacheru copper plate inscription. And another inscription is the Vilasa inscription, that is the issued by the Musnuri Kapu Prolaya Nayaka. So after that in Prataparudra, after that death of Prataparudra, so the Kakatiya kingdom was occupied by the Muhammad bin Tughlaq, and this Kakatiya kingdom became the part of Delhi. And Muhammad bin Tughlaq, he renamed Orugallu as Sultanpur. He renamed Orugallu as Sultanpur. So this is one of the questions. Recently they are asked this question. So who named Orugallu as Sultanpur? This answer is Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Or this Orugallu became the which name? That is Sultanpur. So these are the important Kakatiya rulers. These are the political history of Kakatiyas.
ఓకే, సో ఇప్పటి వరకు మనం అంటే కాకతీయ సామ్రాజ్యం అనేది ఏ విధంగా ఏర్పడింది, ఆ కాలం నాటి పరిస్థితులు ఏంటి అనేది మనం ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేసుకున్నాం. అయితే కాకతీయ రాజుల గురించి కూడా మీరు తెలియజేశారు. అలాగే
చెప్పాను.
కాకతీయ సాహిత్యము, చిత్రలేఖనము, నృత్యము ఇటువంటివన్నీ ఏ విధంగా ఉండేవి ఆ రోజుల్లో?
So the first one is the administration. For the administrative convenience, at the time of the Kakatiyas, they introduced efficient administrative system. For the sake of administrative convenience, the Kakatiyas, they divided their kingdom or their empire into a number of provinces. These provinces, like one of the province is the Nadu, and second one is the Sthalam, and third one is the village. Nadu, Sthalamu and villages are the important provinces at time of the Kakatiyas. For the village administration, there was a separate committee, that is the Mahajana committee. In each village, there is a separate committee for the administration, that is the Mahajana committee. To this Mahajana committee, what is the duties of Mahajana committee? To implement the orders in the village. So this Mahajana committee, they administered the village. To implement the orders of this committee, there were 12 Ayagars. There is 12 Ayagars in each village. These 12 Ayagars are three are the government officers. Three are the government officers. These are the Karanam. First one is Karanam, and second one is Reddy, and third one is Talari. So what is the duty of Karanam? Karanam was the village accountant. He decided the land tax in village, and Reddy he collected land tax from the villages or other taxes, and Talari he maintained the land order, his police duty. He did the police duty. These three are the government officers, and remaining people are the different professional groups in villages. So these professional groups, each professional groups, they fulfill the necessities of the village. And these different professional groups are the Purohita and Kamari means blacksmith, and goldsmith, and carpenter, and potter, and washerman, barber, and shoemaker, and vetti. These are the different professional groups. So they fulfill the necessities of the villages. So the government, they given some lands to these different professional groups for maintenance of their families. So these are one of the aspects, that is the Ayagars. These are the 12 Ayagars in each village. So the first three are the government land, then already I told. And another people in Kakatiya kingdom, they are the Lenkas. Lenkas means the bodyguards of the ruler. Lenkas means the bodyguards of the rulers. So the Lenka, the emperor's personal security guards. Lenkas are the emperor's personal security guards. So the question, who are the Lenkas? Lenkas are the personal security guards to the emperor. Protecting the king is their prime responsibility. And these Lenkas are protectors of are bodyguards of the rulers. These Lenkas were treated equally as sons of the emperor. There is a separate rules and regulations to the Lenkas, that is the Lenkavali. That is called as Lenkavali. The Lenkavali explains the rules of the Lenkas. And next, economic conditions. Land tax was the prime source of the kingdom income. Land tax was in those days, the chief income of the state is the land revenue. Land revenue was the chief income of the state. And they collected, at the time of the Kakatiyas, they collected 1/6 of the gross produce as a land revenue or land tax. So the land tax was called as Ari. Land tax was called as Ari, and those who are paying this tax, they are called as Arigapulu. Arigapulu. Who paid the land tax? The cultivators or the peasants. They are paid the land tax. These peasants are known as Arigapulu in those days. The Kakatiyas, they provided irrigation facilities to the agriculture. So their chief income is their main income is the land revenue. That's why the Kakatiyas, they improved the irrigation facilities, or they provided the irrigation facilities to the lands or the agriculture. For this, they encouraged lakes and construction of lakes and tanks in Telangana area. Present in Telangana area, in each village, each village had the one tank. These tanks are constructed at the time of the Kakatiyas. So as a part of this mission, lakes are constructed all over the Telangana. So the construction of lakes is, so it is believed that one ever constructs a lake, it gets a punyam, or the punyam vastundani నమ్మడం జరిగింది. అంటే ఒక చెరువు కట్టించిన వారికి చాలా పుణ్యం వస్తుంది. అంటే సప్త సంతానాల్లో ఒకటి చెరువు నిర్మాణం అనేది. అదేవిధంగా అశ్వమేధ యాగం చేసినంత వారికి ఎంత అశ్వమేధ యాగం చేస్తే ఎంత పుణ్యం వస్తుందో, ఒక చెరువు నిర్మించిన వారికి అంత పుణ్యం వస్తుందని ఆ కాలంలో వాళ్ళు ప్రచారం చేశారు. అంటే అశ్వమేధ యాగం చేయడం అనేది సామాన్యులతో కాదు, కేవలం రాజులు మాత్రమే చేస్తారు. కాబట్టి మీరు కూడా ఒక చెరువు నిర్మించినట్లయితే ఒక అశ్వమేధ యాగం చేసినంత పుణ్యం వస్తుందని చెప్పడం జరిగింది. దానిలో భాగంగా ఆ విధంగా తెలంగాణ అంతటా కూడా అనేక చెరువులు నిర్మించడం జరిగింది. సో ది Kakatiyas, they ruled, so they constructed number of tanks at the in Telangana area, or and some parts of Andhra area also. In Telangana area, they built first one is the Kesari Samudram. Kesari Samudram was the one of the tanks. So this Kesari Samudram was built by or constructed by Prola I of the early Kakatiya ruler, Kesari Samudram. And second one is the K Samudram. K Samudram was the one of the tank constructed by Prola I. This also constructed by Prola I. And the Shettikeriya tank was this tank constructed by Betaradu II. And Uday Chaudani Cheru or tank. This Uday Chaudani or Cheru or tank was constructed by Rudradeva or Prataparudra I. And Ganapa Samudralu was built by the Ganapa Deva. And Pakala Lake or Pakala tank constructed by Jagadala Mummada. Jagadala Mummada was one of the army chief of the Ganapati Deva. Recently, they are asked in Group 2 in examination, who built the Pakala Lake, who built Pakala tank. So this Jagadala Mummada was one of the answer. Jagadala Mummada built the Pakala Lake. So the Jagadala Mummada was the army chief of the Ganapati Deva. And Ramappa Lake, this Ramappa Lake was constructed by Rechana Rudra in 1213 AD. So this Ramappa Lake, who is the Rechana Rudra? He was the commander-in-chief of the Ganapati Deva. He was the army chief of the Ganapati Deva, or commander-in-chief of the Ganapati Deva. Who built Ramappa Lake or Ramappa tank? That is the, who built? So this Rechana Rudra built. When he built? In 1213, in the year of 1213. And Laknavaram tank was built by Prataparudra. Prataparudra means was the last ruler of the Kakatiyas. Laknavaram tank built. And Bayaran tank built by Mailamba. Mailamba was the younger sister of the Ganapati Deva. So she built Bayaram tank. This question already asked number of times. Who built Bayaram tank? Her name is Mailamba or Mailama. So she built another tank also, that is the Dharmasagar tank. Dharmasagar tank also built by the Mailama. And Kunda Samudramu built by Kundamamba. So this Kundamamba was one of the younger sister of Ganapati Deva. And Chauda Samudram was built by the Malayala Chonda. the Malayala Chonda was one of the commander of the Ganapati Deva's army. And Katkuru Lake or Katkuru tank was built by the Mailamba. So these are the important tanks at the time of the Kakatiyas.
ఓకే సో మరి కాకతీయ రాజుల కాలం నాటి దేవాలయాల గురించి కూడా ఒకసారి చెప్తారా?
దేవాలయాల కంటే ముందు వేరే industries at the time of the Kakatiyas, Telangana is famous as the Telugu speaking areas, or Telangana is famous for the science anicuts time of the at the time of the ancient times. So manaku Telangana prantamlo ante industries ku chala famous ga undedi. And Telugu, when the Kakatiyas they ruled at the time of the Kakatiyas period, these Telugu speaking areas, the Kakatiya country are famous for the textile industry. In ancient times, for Kalankari saris and thin cloths are famous in ancient times from Telugu speaking areas. The Marco Polo, one of the important traveler of Venice traveler or Italian traveler, he mentioned that the cloths made in Mysolia area was being appreciated by the kings. Mysolia is the important place. The Mysolia is important place for the saris. So this much of information mentioned by the Marco Polo, the Venice traveler or Italian traveler. And this Palkurki Somanada was one of the poet at the time of the Kakatiyas. The Palkurki Somanada, in his literature, in his books, he mentioned about the number of cloths. And in his book, that is the Pandita Raja Charitra, Palkurki Somanada, he wrote Pandita Raja Charitra. In his Pandita Raja Charitra, he described around 20 types of the cloths. So the Orugalu was famous for the rugs and makmal cloths. And the iron industry also famous in those days. The iron industry was famous for the Guttikonda, Palnati Sima etc. And Guttikonda was famous for the iron industry. Palnati Sima was famous for the knives. And Nirmal was famous for the diamond mines. And Golconda and Rayalaseema famous for the diamond mines also. And Vajrapuri means in those days Gurujala was called as Vajrapuri because there are number of diamonds are discovered at Gurujala. That's why that is the Vajrapuri. Marco Polo mentioned that there were diamond mines in Golconda. There are number of diamond mines in Golconda. In diamond mines, in these diamond mines, so there are thousands of people are worked in the diamond mines. 60,000, 70,000 people are worked in diamond mines. So this is one of the important industry at time of the Kakatiyas. So trade was handled by the Vaishyas. There is two types of the trade. One is the internal trade and another one is the external trade. Internal trade was carried through the guild system. Guild system means one of the different professional groups, they formed on one guild. That is the one association or guild. That is the guild. So trade was handled by the Vaishyas and Banjaras and Balija Shettis, Vaishyas and Balija Shettis, and trading was done through the trading community. That is the trade carried through the guild system. In each guild they had one president. His name is Sreshti. His name is Sreshti.
Okay. సో భారతదేశ చరిత్రలో భాగంగా కాకతీయ రాజుల గురించి అప్పటి సామ్రాజ్యం ఏ విధంగా స్థాపించబడింది, ఇండస్ట్రీస్ కానివ్వండి, దేవాలయాలు కానివ్వండి, సాంస్కృతిక కార్యక్రమాలు ఏ విధంగా నిర్వహించబడ్డాయి, ఈ విషయాలన్నిటి గురించి కూడా చాలా చక్కగా వివరించినందుకు థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్. ఇది ఇవాల్టి మన టీవీ స్పెషల్ ప్రోగ్రామ్. కీప్ వాచింగ్ మన టీవీ.